Okay, let's have a quick look at eHEX versus pHEX and which one is better and why. Now, you're going to have to come to your own conclusion because I myself am still undecided. Now, this is in an unofficial manner in relation to HEX, pHEX, Pulsechain, PulseX and the like. And before I continue, I'd just like to point out I'm not so easily swayed by any particular narrative put forward towards me. Whether that be from the mainstream media or whether that be from hexkins themselves. Whether that be from outside groups, maybe they're from Ethereum or Bitcoin or something like that, who knows, could be from anywhere, maybe they're from Legacy. Like I said, I'm not so easily swayed on any narrative presented to me regardless. Also, this is not paid for content and I will never be bought and sold. So I'll continue on covering something that I believe will help humanity achieve a type 1 civilization. Now, that might be too deep for this particular stream, but I'll continue on. So currently the prices are sitting at 0.014 USD for Ethereum, 0.017 for Pulsechain, right? So at the moment, why would someone be stressing over which one is better, which one can they buy, which one is going to be a better investment long term, and those sorts of factors? Well, I thought before they start asking themselves those questions, let's go and have a brief look, which is what this video is about, at why I think there could be different opinions on different versions of HEX. If we have a look at eHEX, it might be that some people are attached to eHEX because they may have large holdings, they may have small holdings, they might have held across the fork. Now, one downside we know about Ethereum currently is the high gas fees that everyone experiences who engages with this particular chain. Now, T-shares are relevant, so it's good that we can use Hex Daily Stats. Love this website. Shout out to Crispy Man. T-shares are relevant because we can see here, you know, they're already starting to separate, fork off. Not by much, but there is a slight difference. Now, if you held into the fork, you may not be so concerned with the, decision should you hold your eHEX, because if you're holding it and it's locked away, you burnt it away, you have no choice. It's going to be minted if you mint it, and at that point in time is when you would be thinking, what should you do? Should you end your stake? I mean, that's literally a question, but I have to explain that. Should you end your stake? Should you then mint it? Should you good account it? Should you keep it on the Ethereum chain, or should you bridge it? Or should you sell it and maybe move it into a stable? Sell it for Pulse? There's many different questions that people need to think about. So if we look at the pHEX side, we do see a possibility that people moved, So what do I mean by that? So maybe they were holding liquid eHEX and they bridged it in or over to Pulsechain via the bridge. Maybe they were hoping for ARB. Maybe they were thinking that they could either two different ways. You could sell your HEX for a stable or another token, bridge it across, swap that for pHEX or even Pulse or even PulseX. Or they could actually just bridge the eHEX directly in. So, Then they would have experienced delays because the bridge wasn't operating as quickly as initially people might have thought, like similar to testnet. And also, personally, I thought the ratio hit parity a lot quicker than I anticipated. I actually thought everything was going to come out with no price and things were going to be extremely low and not hit parity for a long time. So the fact that HEX and pHEX have actually already hit parity, to me, is absolutely amazing in terms of market participation, because this couldn't have happened without users of both chains. So looking from that angle, there was a possibility that when people bridged over, they did not buy as much as they thought they could. That is a factor. The bridge attributed to that, and parity, HEX and HEX hitting parity, also was a very a surprise factor to me. Question: should one move all eHEX over to pHEX? For me, it's too early, and over time we'll see how it all plays out. I think if you analyze the data points at the moment, if you factor in to account the fees that you're paying on one particular chain, you factor in the T-shares where you're going to get the best deal, you factor in the price of HEX basically at parity, does it make sense to move all of your eHEX over to Pulsechain, cop the fee when you end your stake, cop the fee when you bridge it over, cop the small fee on the Pulse side, because remember, Pulse side is a lot more efficient. You know, it might be, again, completely up to you. But these are just some of the things I'm noticing, and I thought I'd present it from a person who doesn't really favor the eHEX side or the pHEX side at the moment, because like I said, for me it's too early to tell how it all plays out. You could break it down into future scenarios. You could say, what if ETH moons? What will that mean for gas fees? Remember the S-load function, and every day that you're staked away, locked away, you burn your HEX, that calculation is getting more and more expensive, which is a reason why someone might want to move over to Pulsechain. However, those same stakes, if they already have them, are already locked away. So maybe it'll be beneficial to, when both of those stakes end, you end the stake on the Pulsechain side first. Maybe you get enough economic energy to then end the stake on the Ethereum side, and then you have twice as much, and then units, that is, and then you'll be able to decide which chain is going to treat you better. Do you want to pay more fees? How long is your stake going to be? You know, is it going to be short term? Do you have enough Pulse to transact? What is the price of Pulse? Those sorts of things are various scenarios you can think about moving forward in the future. Again, the fact that it is at parity is very, very interesting. That is why at the moment, like I said, it's just too early to tell which one is the dominant chain. If you're looking at it purely from a HEX minter perspective. We know that the fees are a lot cheaper on the Pulse chain side, so it does make sense if and when fiat on and off ramps appear, if they were chasing cheaper HEX and they both are at parity, it would make sense to me that you would be purchasing via the fiat on and off ramp that gives you access to Pulsechain and its PRC20s, because the PRC20 version is the same as HEX but on a cheaper, faster racetrack, on a track designed for it, so it should be able to perform better. You know, one's wet and slip, one is wet and slippery, the other one is, you know, hot and the tires are sticky. So which one would you be rather running on? Now, that is about it. Like I said, it's it's very early. It's day 1273 of HEX. And now you've got a decision. Do you want to go with Ethereum or do you want to go with Pulsechain? Are you so attached to Ethereum you cannot let it go? Do you accept the higher fees? Do you not care about T-shares? And did you hold into the fork? Did you possibly hold liquid and try and bridge it over and try and get an arbitrage opportunity, which was somewhat affected by the bridge being a little bit slower than anticipated, and parity was hit a lot quicker in regards to hex and hex? And the question is that we all want to know, should we move all the eHEX to pHEX? And like I said, too early if you ask me. Over time we'll see how it all plays out. Free speech signing out.